think I am live. So, I think I'm live right now. I'm pretty sure. Okay, let me double check. Okay, is anybody, can I just, how do I sound to people? Sound good? Okay, I do sound good. Cool. Um, so welcome to a live stream on Sunday. Today's the 24th of September. So we are reaching the end of September, which is exciting because October is right around the corner, and I am very excited for the month of October this year because I have so many fun things planned. Um, so let's see, got a couple people here, so welcome everybody. Um, so I have a few things that I wanted to do tonight. First thing, I just wanted to um, talk about. I got a guess this is kind of relevant, kind of not, but I got a package in the mail the other day. This was from Shout Factory. The Anybody out there that's watching this that's not aware of this, which I was not aware until I came across this on Facebook. So apparently, in this Friday the 13th box set, the Blu-ray set, apparently there were 3 discs that had mistakes on them, which I did not know that was a thing. And so if you contact Shout Factory, like unfortunately, if you bought this like secondhand or like used or something, this wouldn't really apply to you because they wouldn't be able to do this. But if you did buy it directly from Shout Factory or from Amazon or somewhere that you can prove that you purchased it brand new, Shout Factory will send you, or Scream Factory, I guess, will send you replacement discs. And so apparently there were 3 movies that had issues on them, which I never got around to actually watching these 3 particular movies, so I couldn't tell you what the issues were. But they sent me, because I bought this off Amazon. Pretty much, I think I pre-ordered this off Amazon when it was coming out in, I believe it was 2020. And so I got here Friday the 13th Part 3, replacement disc, and then Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X. So free, like absolutely free from Shout Factory. Really fun and cool of them. So I haven't done any research. I haven't even had time to really like pop these in to see what the difference is, I guess. But yeah, so if you do have this set, I would recommend reaching out to Shout Factory. All they needed was proof of purchase, my name and address, and they're able to send me those replacement discs. So yeah, obviously this is a fantastic set. I can't complain too much if there was like minor flaws within the discs, but since there is, contact Shout Factory. They'll send you replacement discs, and everything will be great. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Looks like I have a few more people in here. How's everybody doing? How's everyone's weekend? I had an eventful weekend myself. I wasn't planning on being eventful, but it ended up being eventful. So today's been a very chill day, which is great. So yes, let's see. Okay, so kind of like the last live stream that I did, which was last Sunday. I kind of like talked about briefly that I want to do a I've been trying to implement watching like more different types of films throughout the week, because I can get I can very easily just get like fixated on watching like just Criterion. So it's like Criterion after Criterion after Criterion, or like just like getting like a just watch like just horror, or just watch like the same type of film. I mean, not saying that Criterion's all the same type of film, but like, you know what I mean, where it's a lot of the same, um, I don't know, like artsy films or horror or something like that. So I decided, because I felt like I wasn't watching enough of my collection. I felt like I was watching like only bits and pieces of it, and so I decided to try something differently, and that was basically to assign a movie per night of the week. So I came up with the plan of Sunday nights is horror, Monday is movies I should have seen by now, slash like my favorite directors films. So I have a section of in my library with like favorite directors, and so both of those, I feel like there's a lot of movies that I have not seen that I should have seen by now. And so like you'll see here in my stack that I'm going to go over, there's an example of it, but I just feel like I don't watch those enough. And then Tuesdays is a science fiction day, and Wednesdays is Severin. So the label of Severin, I try to keep watching those. Thursdays is Criterion. Fridays is like TV shows. So I just try to watch a couple episodes of a show. And Saturday night is Vinegar Syndrome. Now, there's a few things with that. I don't have like a ton of Vinegar Syndrome titles or a ton of Severin titles, and so when I do eventually run out of both Severin or Vinegar Syndrome, I decided I'll move on to Arrow and Kino Lorber and Blue Underground, Synapse, and Scream Factory. So I'll kind of just do like boutique labels. Like I'll have two boutique label days. Um, obviously, when um, when Halloween rolls around, I am planning on doing a which is, I guess, is next month. I'm going to be doing 21 Nights of Halloween. I'm very excited to do that this year. I have a lot of fun things in store for this channel for the month of October, and so keep an eye out for that. Um, let's see. Some people are talking in the chat, so let me see. I got a really cool Hammer Horror box set yesterday. It has 21 discs in it. That's awesome. I really need to get into Hammer Horror um, stuff. I feel like I have a few. I think I have like Scars of Dracula. I think that's what it's called. That might be the only one that I have, and I really, I mean, is that like a Region One disc or Region One box set? I'm curious, because I should look into getting that because I would love just to get like all of the Hammer Horror movies all at once. But um, let's see. Do you got your or watch list for 21 days of Halloween, or do you make it up as you go? So usually what I'm going to do, and I'm going to make this a video where I'm going to basically be pulling 21 or 31, sorry, not 21, 31 nights of Halloween. I'm going to be pulling 31 movies out of my collection and into a stack. Um, I think I've posted, I want to say this is going to be my 4th year. Um, I usually pull them all ahead of time, and that way they just kind of like sit by my TV, and like I work my way down through them. Um, and so since this is my 4th year, I have a couple series that I started at the beginning. I think it's 4th or 5th year. I'm not sure. I kind of lost track. Um, but there's a few series that I started within this 31 Nights of Halloween. Um, and so like for instance like the Critter series, I started, I think that was 2 years ago, I started the Critters, the first Critters movie, and then so last Halloween I watched the second Critters movie. This Halloween I watched the third Critters movie. And that's for a few series. Like I know I did that with like The Omen, Prophecy, Critters, obviously, Wreck, that was another, the Wreck collection, and yeah, a few other ones. Obviously, I do try to watch like a Halloween, like from the actual series of Halloween. I try to watch one of those movies within the month as well. So I'll have it all kind of structured, and I'll also be continuing to do kind of this format throughout, in regards to a live stream throughout the month as well, where I just kind of talk about those movies that I watched in that previous week. Um, but yeah, I'm very excited because I think this 31 Nights of Halloween, I have some really cool like other videos planned for it. So Let's see. Sorry, I am not sure. I got it off eBay. I'm in PLA format. I'm not sure what you mean by PLA format. Yeah, sorry. um, but yeah, I'll have to like look into the Hammer Horror. You said it was a 21. Sorry, you said there's a 21 disc box set. That's sounds very interesting. Um, so tonight, I'm gonna just jump into my little stack of films that I have here. This is everything that I watched this week. Not all of this is horror, since that we're still in September. So in the month of October, this whole stack will be horror every week, basically. Um, so starting things off from last Sunday, so a week, Region 2, basically. Gotcha. Um, okay, so starting things off last Sunday, I decided to, since it was my horror night, I decided to grab a horror film. So this is one that I've owned this movie for a very long time. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's almost been 10 years since since I got this movie. Maybe not quite 10, maybe like 8 or so. But it's been sitting on my shelf for a very long time. I bought this at like a video store in their dollar section because it looked interesting, and it's just been sitting in my horror collection for a very long time, and I've never gotten around to watching it. And so last Sunday, I decided just to grab it and watch it. I've been trying to do that more. Movies that just have been sitting for a long time, I just trying to like watch. And that was the film Stir of Echoes. So yeah, this is with Kevin Bacon in it. Um, it definitely like it was almost kind of like a um, oh, I don't know, like kind of like a haunted house, not haunted house, but like a some guy starts seeing visions, and he's kind of trying to solve the mystery. It kind of reminded me of like The Ring a little bit. Um, Similar, kind of like, not like in the sense of like someone's going to come and kill him, but in a sense of like he starts seeing visions, and he tries to kind of start putting the pieces together of like, who killed this person, and or what happened to this person. And I really enjoyed it. It's from 1999, and so it definitely felt like that, or like late 90s, early 2000s horror film. It definitely just had that feeling to it, which I loved. I thought it was so much fun, and I love the slipcover on it. I think it's like so cool. Um, so yeah, yeah, I would recommend checking this out if you haven't. Um, it's not too long. I think it's only 94 minutes, so it really, I don't know, it's a fun watch. The next one I watched on Monday, this is within the movies that I should have seen by now. This is a film that I felt like everyone has seen, but I have just never gotten around to actually watching it. Um, this was just a movie that has been sitting on my shelf for also a very long time, and that was the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So this is a Robert Zemeckis film, and I don't know what year it was, 1988. Honestly, a very impressive film, blending animation and live action together. Really fun. Not what I was anticipating at all. A little like cheesy, but it was just like, I don't know. It was a really fun time. I really like. I wish that I saw this sooner in my life. I feel like this is one that like a lot of people see early on, and I just never, you know, got around to checking it out. But I watched it the other night, and it was a lot of fun. And it was basically like a kind of like a mystery comedy type of thing, where it's, as the name suggests, somebody framed Roger Rabbit. um, and so I don't know, great movie, obviously a classic. And the next one I watched, this is one again that I should have seen by now, but this is in the sci-fi genre. So for this would be Tuesday, and it's just one that it reminded me of two different movies combined into one, which I'll talk about in a second. But this is from 1973. It's only 88 minutes long, so it's a quick watch, and that is the film Westworld. Um, so this is one that I watched, or that reminded me a lot of like I remember the one. Well, one of the films that this reminds me of is Total Recall. It kind of reminded me of like Total Recall mixed with like the Terminator in a way. And if you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about, where it has that very like that feeling of um, I don't know, like not artificial intelligence, but I don't know. It felt very. It definitely gave me like the Total Recall like vibes of you know going on this like quote unquote like vacation, and then things going wrong. But yeah, I'd recommend checking out Westworld. It's a lot of fun. I know there's a TV show based off of this, or a mini series or something, and I have the first season of it, but I've never actually watched that. So I'm hoping to watch that soon. But gonna grab a drink quickly. The next one I watched, this is for Wednesday. Let's see. I've been following you on your channel for a while now. I love your collection. I'm a horror film collector. I'd like to live there to have access to the editation. Congratulations. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm a huge I love horror. Thank you for the support on my channel too. I do appreciate that. Um yeah, horror is my favorite genre of all of all the different genres. I'd say sci-fi is my second favorite, but as you can see behind me, this wall right here, um Future World. There's a sequel to Westworld called Future World. I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds like fun. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't know there was a sequel to it. Um, but yeah, this whole wall right here, this is all horror right here. So it kind of starts over here and works its way around, and then this is all horror VHS. So I absolutely love the genre. But speaking of horror, on Wednesday is my Severin day, and I watched Enigma. So this is one that's kind of like it's Lucio Fulci's film, and it kind of was like a girl in a coma, uh, kind of gets revenge on people who put her in a coma. And I don't know, it's just a fun time. Um, it's cheesy Italian horror, but it's fantastic. I loved it. It was only 89 minutes. It's from 1987. Um, so I think it also does have an English dub on the Severin disc. So yeah, I got this during one of the Severin sales, and I'm glad I did because it's a lot of fun. And then on Thursday is my Criterion Day. And so last week, if you watched the live stream, I talked about this particular movie. I watched, let's see, last week I watched the 1946 version. And so this week I watched the 1964 version of the film, The Killers. Um, and definitely different than the original. So the remake is actually, I really enjoyed the remake. It does have John Cassavetes acting in it, which is always great. Um, and it's essentially, instead of him being a boxer in the original film, he is a race car driver in the remake. And it definitely like felt more like, I don't know, it definitely felt it's like 1964 like age. But I really liked it. It is shorter than the original. The original is 102 minutes, and the remake is 94 minutes. And also, the original is black and white. The remake is in color. So this is a great set from Criterion. Honestly, for the price point, I think if this is only during this Barnes and Noble sale or the Criterion sale, this is only $20. But you get two great films within this like one set. Highly recommend checking those out. So um, let's see. It must have been hard to be an actor for the film Who Framed Roger Rabbit because there isn't anything actually there. LOL. You got to. Oh, let's see. Got to pretend you're talking and reacting. Yeah, I would. I do. I would definitely agree. Acting in Who Framed Roger Rabbit must have been a whole thing because, I mean, essentially it'd be like me acting against this, and then afterwards they would digitally put in Roger Rabbit right there, and um yeah, it would be insane. But it came out, and it worked so well. Um, and so, yeah, I Robert Zemeckis truly is a master. And I've been debating if I should add him to my favorite directors of all time. Because I do think that he's had some solid hits of films. Obviously, Back to the Future, being probably his biggest. Um, but then he did other things. I think this is Robert Zemeckis. Yeah, he did other things like this that I still need to see this, but I just feel like this doesn't age. Like it didn't age well. But I could be wrong. I do need to watch that. So he's done other things that like isn't quite as big of a film, but that's okay. And then actually on Thursday I had some extra time as well. Um, or I'm sorry, I take that back. On Between Thursday and Friday. Thursday I had some extra time, and then Friday, um, I ended up kind of skipping the TV show day. Mainly because I was thinking about it, and since I am kind of getting closer to October, and every single day of October is going to be dedicated to a horror film, I don't necessarily want to start a TV like season right now. I would rather wait till October is over and then kind of jump into like TV shows in the month of November. Um, so what I did is I had some time in on Thursday, and so I watched a little bit of this, and then I finished it off on Friday. So I watched the first volume of By Brockage, and so this is like a collection of 56 films. This is volume 1 and 2. This is also within the Criterion collection. Um, yeah, on Thursday I watched the film Dog Star Man, which was very fascinating. It was a I don't know. I feel like a lot of, I mean, these films are very like artsy and like avant-garde and just like very like just not like for everybody. A lot of his films are experimental as well, I would say, where he like hand paints like frames of like on film, and then he like that's the movie. It's just like like almost just blobs of color. And the movie Dog Star Man has a little bit more of a story. Um, yeah, TV shows will suck you in. Yeah, I agree. That's why I'm trying to avoid watching really like anything until after October, because I just feel like I don't want to start something and I'm going to want to finish it, but I'm also going to need to be watching horror movies, and so um, I decided just to watch a few of the films of this pack. So I started watching these. It's a good idea not to start. Yeah. Um, yeah, I started watching Volume 1 a couple months ago, I want to say. I watched like the first couple of his films, and then I finished it off on, Friday, because a lot of his movies, especially in, let's see. So Dog Star Man is his longest one of the Volume 1, where it's 74 minutes and 34 seconds. Um, but there's quote unquote movies on this disc that are 9 seconds long, 2 minutes 24 seconds, um, 2 minutes 51 seconds, 6 minutes 30 seconds, 35 seconds, 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute. So some of them are extremely short. One that's 9 seconds long, like it's pretty much. There's not very many on there. So I was able to actually watch a lot of those and kind of get through volume 1 of this set. And so happy I did. There's a lot of interesting things. Definitely not for everybody. I would probably not recommend it to everybody. Mainly because it's very artsy stuff. But and then last night, I had a small amount of time, and so it was my Vinegar Syndrome night, and so I decided to watch the film Tragic Ceremony. And so this is from 1972. It's 87 minutes long, and um, let's see. I pull 31 horror movies to watch every October. I feel like a lot of like, I mean, I also do, but like I feel like a lot of people do pull like try to like make the whole month of October just horror movies, and I kind of love it. Um, I'm very curious on what movies you're planning on watching. But yeah, last night I watched. Speaking of horror, I watched Tragic Ceremony, which essentially is like four friends kind of end up um, running out of gas, and so um, the like they ended up kind of like staying at this giant mansion and ends up to be a cult. Um, and then one girl essentially gets possessed, and people die. It's very very Italian cinema, and if you are a fan of Italian movies, I would recommend checking this out. If not, I'd maybe pass on this. It definitely is. It feels more Italian than anything, which makes sense because it's Italian. Um, but yeah, it's also in Italian, so you have to watch it with subtitles. But yeah, a lot of fun from Vinegar Syndrome. And yeah, that is everything that I watched this last week. And tonight's going to be a horror movie, so I have to pick one out after this live stream. But um, obviously, I still want to stay on here. I want to talk. Does anybody have questions, comments, concerns? I would love to chat with you guys a little bit. Let me go back to the live or the what's it called? The live chat. This thing keeps falling over. I always watch Dracula 1931 every Halloween since it's my favorite horror film. Dracula 1931. I don't know if I've seen that one. Oh wait, is that the original one? Am I stupid? Am I like not? Yeah, 31. Yeah, that's definitely the original, right? Like that's embarrassing. Um yeah, 1931. I'm sorry. So yes, I have for sure seen Dracula. I've definitely seen the original Dracula. There are so many versions of Dracula that they made, and I kind of love it. There's a lot. There's one that I really need to watch. That there's this one that I've never seen. I don't know what year this one was from. Why can't I find it? 1979, maybe. This might be from 1979. Let's see. Who is your favorite slasher? Favorite slasher? I'm gonna have to probably go with Jason. I absolutely love the Friday the 13th series. Um, it's I don't know. I love everything about it. I have um far more box sets from Friday the 13th than I really need to have. But I love collecting it. I think it's like with the Friday the 13th series, it was just kind of like they hit a certain point in the series that they knew exactly what they had, and they just kind of like ran with it. I would say anything after part 4, maybe. Um, let's see. And I would say anything after part 4, I would say that it like they kind of just like ran with um fun with the Friday the 13th series. I think like especially when it's like, Jason versus Carrie basically. Um in part 7, it's just so much fun. If you don't take it seriously, it is so much more fun. Especially when Jason goes to Manhattan, or even when Jason goes to hell, Jason X, when Jason in space and stuff. I love one of my like all-time favorite horror movies, because it's like just such a fun concept, is Freddy versus Jason. I don't know why I love that movie so much. It's just one of those that is just, I don't know. I try to watch a Friday the 13th movie every Halloween as well. Kind of been working my way through the series for like the fourth time now, but let's see, what did people say? Um, see, have you had the time to watch any of those 8mm film reels that you got recently? Kind of. I kind of liked. I watched through a few of them, but I haven't like sat down and like really like watched any of them like fully yet. I use my 8mm film editor, and so I can kind of like run through them really quick just to see like what's on them. But I haven't had a chance to like really sit down, which somebody suggested in a comment, which I definitely want to do this because I love the idea of basically going through and doing a video of like how to string the film through the projector and kind of like set it all up and show it or whatever. So I would love to do that. I love film. I love the idea of film. Behind me you can see my 16 millimeter projector. Underneath it, can't quite see it, but there's the 8 millimeter projector under that one. So yeah, I really want to, and I'm excited because I do kind of I like kind of put it I don't know. I put it kind of off. Like I have a film shelf now, but um, let's see. I grew up on, or let's see, S'mores Indoors says good evening. Good evening, S'mores Indoors. I grew up on Jason. He's my favorite too. Yeah. I don't know what it is about Jason. I think it's just um, I don't know. Some people really like Michael, and which I do. I like Michael Myers. But I think Jason just has, I don't know. They had so much fun with the series, and yeah, I really need to rewatch the remake from 2009, I believe. It's been a very long time since I've seen that, but I'm excited to check that out. But I wish that Friday the 13th would get like a 4K box set with all of the films, which I know I should be grateful that we even got a Blu-ray box set, but Scream Factory, I'm counting on them to put out a 4K box set because they've been putting out 4Ks of all the individual films, but of not of Friday the 13th per se, but like of Halloween or the Chucky series, and um, still fingers crossed that we get a Nightmare on Elm Street 4K set, just something better than what we currently have, because the Blu-ray set that we have is just not, it's not great. um, let's see, do you have a PO box for people to send you stuff? So I do not, and I really want to get one. I did ask at the post office, and how much was it? It's like more expensive than I was anticipating. You know, but I will shoot me a message after on Instagram or YouTube, or email me or something, and we'll figure something out. But I do want to get a PO box, and yeah, because also I wouldn't mind doing like giveaways as well. So I have like stuff that I can be giving away for, I don't know, different things. But um, yeah, I want to get a PO box soon. Um, let's see. So if you weren't on the last live stream from last week, um, if you weren't on the last live stream from last week, I like turned my phone because I record live streams off my phone just because it's easier to do. But I turned my phone sideways, and so and like the live chat, it like pops up, but it like goes away, and I don't really know why. And so sorry if I keep having to click on the screen to try bring it back up every time. um let's see. Yeah, I'd happily send you some Hammer horror stuff. That would be awesome. Yeah, if you are interested in sending me something, um shoot me a message, and I will go check out PO boxes this week and figure some things out. So, yeah, if you are interested, if you have things that you would like to send me that I could talk about on this channel, um, yeah, shoot me a message. Um, love your setup. Thank you. I do appreciate that, Movie John. I wouldn't push TV aside so quick, or see, I wouldn't push TV aside so quick for Halloween. You have um, Twilight Zone set, The X Files, The River series, and Tales from the Crypt. All of those shows have some scary, creepy. That is a good point. That's actually a very good point. That I do have some like horror like TV shows. Um, So maybe I'll do like a bonus. Maybe I'll do like a bonus like TV shows mixed in with like horror movies throughout the month as well. Um, and then it would be Region B stuff if that's okay. So I need a region free player. Um, Mainly because I have Region B stuff, but I don't have a region free player yet. And it is so high on my list. This year for Christmas, I am like, that is going to be my Christmas gift to myself. Or I'll ask my wife to grab it for me for Christmas. But I desperately want a region free player. Um, so I don't know. Even if it was just a region like B or region 2 like for DVD, region B player for the Blu-ray, that would work too because I don't have anything like region 3 or 4 or anything like that. I only have like I have a couple like a couple like Eureka things that I really want to watch, but I don't have a player for it. So that is so high up on my list of like players that I want. But um, yeah, so but maybe I will do for Halloween. I might do like maybe like dedicate one night if I can watch a horror movie plus like a couple episodes of a series of a TV show, I should say. Um, so I haven't started the Twilight Zone like the series yet. That is one series that I really just need to get into. Um, but I have the complete series, and then the X Files. I think I'm on season 3. I think I've definitely seen the first 2 seasons. I can't remember if I've seen season 3 or not. So I'm going to start it and then kind of decide if that's where I am or not for that. So, um, I do need to just finish some of these shows. But what is your favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie? That is an excellent question. He is in my favorite directors series, which I do want to do a video kind of talking about all of my directors movies that I have. Um, hmm. I don't know because I've seen probably out of all of his films I've seen Psycho the most. However, I really like I've seen Rope once. Um, Season 4, episode 2, Home. Is that a X Files? I'm assuming. Um, but um, Alfred Hitchcock, I really loved Rebecca. Um, I liked the film Rope. I thought that was so well done. It's one that I always recommend to people. X Files, gotcha. And I'm trying to think of any other ones that um, I watched The Wrong Man for the first time the other day, and that was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. It is very like he is one of the most like interesting filmmakers. All yeah, The Birds as well. Um, I do like The Birds. He's a very interesting filmmaker because like his whole career, like also Vertigo, I can't forget that he had so many great movies within his like filmography and um like the first half of his like career he was very like successful as a director. He made a ton of movies and then he came out with like North by Northwest, Vertigo, Psycho, The Birds, like just like huge hit, Rear Window, like all of these like huge hits just like one after the other. And it's just like a very interesting thing that like he wasn't like his most well-known films came so much later in his career than his earlier things. And so that's why I kind of disagree with like the Quentin Tarantino approach to like movies, where Tarantino says like he wants to basically preserve his like he doesn't want to like basically just get stale as a director. At least is me paraphrasing. um so he doesn't want to just keep making movies for the sake of making movies and then they just like progressively get bad at ruining the legacy of films that he made. But I because he wants to make like 10 movies and then quit. which I kind of disagree because it's like I think it's like if you like really love something, like you will be doing it regardless of if you know if people think you're making it like if you're ruining your previous stuff or not. Like if you just love making movies, like you will just be making movies for your entire life. Um, and that's how like Scorsese kind of like talked about it, how he just wants to be making movies forever. And so and that's I kind of look at that with like the Alfred Hitchcock situation where he like if he basically took that approach, we wouldn't have some of the greatest Alfred Hitchcock movies ever made, which came on the I would say like the second half of his career. And so if he basically stopped because he was afraid that he wasn't going to be good anymore, we wouldn't have movies like Psycho or The Birds or Vertigo or and obviously there was a few like duds in there that nobody talks about, like The Trouble with Henry or um, the like Torn Curtain, or like how he remade his own movie of The Man Who Knew Too Much. But I do think like the ones that we did get, even the duds are still fantastic films. Um, so I don't know. I really do like Alfred Hitchcock. I think he's a very interesting director, and I want to like I have not seen all of Alfred Hitchcock's movies, especially his earlier stuff, um, and so I'm trying to work my way through his filmography as well because I think I have pretty much all of the movies that were released. There's like a handful that were never like actually came out on disc of any kind, and so I need to figure out. I think I have them like saved, or I downloaded them off of like YouTube or something, like because they're in like in the public domain at this point, and I just need to like burn myself and make myself a copy of them. But um, yeah, I guess what is other people's like favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies? Or just like favorite movies in general, I guess, because I always like hearing people's thoughts on um, people's favorite movies. That is like one of my like when I meet somebody for the first time, that's like one of my first questions I ask them is just like, "What's your favorite movie?" Because I do think it says a lot about somebody, of like what their favorite movie is, even if they have one. But Vertigo, I need to show my wife Vertigo. She hasn't seen it yet, and what I want to do, and Rear Window is also a fantastic film. What I want to do with Vertigo, I want to get I have a projector, like a digital projector that I want to set up outside, and we can like watch it against the house, which would be really fun. Um, but The Birds is also fantastic. Um, yeah, I watched the movie Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf like way back in the day when I was younger, because it was like it was PG-13, and at the library that I used to go to, you like had to be 17 or older to check out R-rated films, and so I was just getting whatever seemed interesting. I didn't know anything about movies at the time, but I got Disturbia because it was PG-13, and I was under 17 at the time. And I remember really liking it. And then a few years later, I saw Rear Window for the first time, and I was like, "This is the same movie. It's like the same, like the same story." Um, and so I mean, although I will say Rear Window is better than Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf, but um, yeah, I mean, Alfred Hitchcock definitely built tension just perfectly in all of his films. I really do enjoy his movies, but I am excited because I will be releasing a video on Tuesday. Yes, on Tuesday. Um, that I know some people have been asking for, and so I'm excited to release that one, because I kind of rearranged a few things in my movie room. So keep an eye out for that, if you are curious on that. But um, yeah. Let's see. Um, I guess what are some recommendations for 31 Nights of Halloween that people have? Um, I'm gonna try stick with movies that I have not seen before, except with the exceptions of um, like a Friday the 13th film or a Halloween movie or I'm trying to think of other examples. Um, I feel like there's a few other ones. If you go onto my Instagram, which if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's Kyle's Movie Collection. Um, but um, I think I've posted before my 31 Nights of Halloween. I think there's a few photos in there, like within my feed that you can kind of see what I've watched in the past, which I'll talk about in another video where I kind of pick out when I actually pick out my 31 Nights of Halloween films. But let's see, Critters, I think is what you said, right? Yeah, Critters. Um, so I've seen Critters 1, but this Halloween is going to be for Critters 3 because I've seen Critters 2 as well. Because I have the this fantastic Scream Factory box set, and so these movies are cheesy, but they're also a lot of fun. So, which they're kind of like, that's the thing is like after watching them, like I can see the horror parts of it, but I would say these might be more like sci-fi than horror. But see, the 1988 Blob remake is a great one. Trying to think, have I seen the remake of the Blob? Excuse me while I just check quickly. Yes, I have seen that. The Blob remake is fantastic. I remember watching that. Let's see, love the Blob. Yeah, I have seen the original one with Steve McQueen. I think that's Steve McQueen, right? The one that's in the Criterion Collection and the remake, but I've not seen Beware the Blob, which was a sequel to the original, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so I might have to check out the sequel, Beware the Blob film. Um, but yeah, I also try to watch like at least one Hellraiser film, but I don't know. I feel like they get pretty they get pretty rough there, especially after the third one. They get pretty cheesy. But Sleepaway Camp is another great pick. And I've seen the first three films. I think I've seen Return to Sleepaway Camp, which was like not necessarily associated with it. I think I just shared the name if I'm not mistaken. It was cheesy. I remember it not being super great. Um, but yeah. Um, The Burning. The Burning is also a fantastic film. Um, sorry, I've seen all these movies. Um, yeah, I if you can kind of see right there, yeah, right there. I have the Sleepaway Camp like Red Cross edition box set, which I just learned. I knew that was out of print like a long time ago. I knew that was already out of print, but I learned why it's out of print is because they put into production the. Sorry, I'll just grab that quickly. They put into production this box set without getting the permission to use this this like Red Cross, which is like the symbol for like the medical stuff. So they didn't get permission to use that, and then so this box set went out of print, and so then they came out with the other version of this box set, which just says like survival kit on it or something. But yeah, this is a fantastic set. The only thing that I am disappointed in with this whole box set is my copy. I guess this is really just my personal like problem, but my copy, the person before me, as you can see, this is all just like damaged. It looks like there's tape on here right now. This is how I bought it with the tape on it, and so it's supposed to say like Sleepaway Camp right here, but like it got all like mixed, like messed up. So I got this used at the exchange, and everything else in it is fine, and like all discs and everything. It's just like that spine, and so whenever I display this, I can't display it like this. I have to really display it like this because this is just ugly. which is really unfortunate. So someday I would like to replace this, but these are expensive, especially for being DVD and not Blu-ray. Have you watched A Clockwork Orange? I love that film. I have. I've seen A Clockwork Orange. I've seen it one time through, and I feel like I've like referenced it a couple times in regards just to like certain scenes and stuff. Um, and I checked out um, the 4K. I have the 4K of it, and so I kind of like scrubbed through it just to kind of see the quality of it and stuff. I love it too. I think it's a very interesting film. Definitely not for everybody, but I think it's very interesting. And I tried reading the book. It is a very hard book to read, mainly because it's like it's in its own like made up language basically. Um, so it's very difficult to read, um, but it's very interesting. And so, yeah, I Stanley Kubrick is my favorite director, and so I've seen all of his films. But I need to go back through and watch it again because it's a very fascinating film. But yes, the 4K did look good on it. Um, I remember when it first came out on 4K. uh, I was having the hardest time finding the steelbook of the movie because I wanted to get it on steelbook, um, but at Best Buy nobody had it, and so I ended up driving like 45 minutes um, to a different Best Buy just to pick up the steelbook because I had two copies left. When I got there, I was so happy to grab it. Um, but it was a weird one that like came out and it was super limited. It even seemed like the standard edition was harder to come by on 4K. um and so now we're just waiting on the only movies of Stanley Kubrick's that have not come out on 4K is Barry Lyndon, which we have a very nice Blu-ray from Criterion. And this is also Region 1. I don't know about Region or Region B for any of these on 4K or in regards to a 4K, but um, we haven't gotten Barry Lyndon. We only have a Blu-ray. Lolita. We only have a Blu-ray of Lolita. Um, and Eyes Wide Shut, which I feel like it was rumored that we might get a 4K, but let's see. I hate how much negative, or I hate how many. Let's see. I hate how much negative things collectors say about DVD. Yeah, I agree. I think it's like it's very easy to get like sucked down the quality hole of just like always wanting like the nicest thing. Also, this is me just talking like just as I was saying, talking about the 4K of Clockwork Orange, but um certain films for me, I'm like that is a must to have on the highest possible format available. Other movies, I'm okay with DVD. Um, like Westworld, I'm sure it would look good on Blu-ray. I don't have the Blu-ray; I have the DVD, as you saw earlier. But I'm okay with having that on DVD, or even Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Both fantastic films. I enjoyed them just as much if I had them on Blu-ray or a DVD. I'm trying to, not get caught up in the like always upgrading to the latest thing because it's like I have movies that I've never even seen, um, and I just have the DVD. But they announced that there's like a 4K coming out, and it's just like, well, I'll watch it on DVD first because um, I don't know. There's certain movies that I will. I guess it really just comes down to like your personal like preference of film. And so like certain movies I am like that is a no-brainer. I need to get that on the highest. Like 2001 A Space Odyssey was I'm like I need to get that on the highest possible format available. And I'm glad I did because it looks fantastic. It looks far better on 4K than DVD. But I also do you know, I like for example like the Sleepaway Camp series that we were just talking about. Um I have like these are all the DVDs and the the Blu-rays for this, especially with the slipcovers from Scream Factory, are very expensive. and it's films that I've seen once. I've seen all these movies at least once. They're great. They're fun. Uh, and I'm sure they look good on Blu-ray. But I'm also happy with my DVD set because I really do like the box of this one. I think it's so much fun. I actually have these on VHS as well. So it's just like a fun, I don't know. Um, it's fun to have them, and I'm grateful that I even have them to begin with, let alone just always. Because yeah, um, I, don't know, I worked this one job where I always take this into account whenever I'm thinking of. I kind of apply this lesson um, into for collecting as well, where I was working this job where essentially this my boss was creating this like an online course to teach people. Um, and he constantly kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it and tweak like he just kept wanting to, because I was doing the editing work for it, and so he kept wanting to change things and add this here, like um and I mean, it was going on like 2 years of doing that basically, without ever actually selling the course to anybody. And so, um, at some point, you just have to be okay with the way things are and just move forward. I kind of take that same lesson that I learned from that and kind of like apply it to movies, where at a certain point, I just need to be okay with having a movie on DVD or whatever and just move on. Because if I'm only buying just to have the latest, and like obviously I would love to have everything on the latest, format, but I would also like to be able to what am I trying to say? I'd like to have more variety. So I'd rather like not just have 20 movies that I just kept buying over and over and over on you know DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. Like I'd rather have this collection and have a mixture of DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, like stuff like that. So if that makes all sense, I don't know if all that made sense. A little rant, but let's see. So some people said I like DVD because you can build a very nice collection for very cheap. Sometimes I'll treat myself and get a steel book of my favorite movies now and then. Yeah, I also look at it as like if I'm at Goodwill and they have a movie on DVD for $1 that I've been kind of wanting to see, I'll grab it. There's movies that, um, I mean, like the other good example, a few months or a couple weeks ago, I got the movie I See You. I've never seen this film, but almost dropped it. I've never seen this film, but I've always wanted to, and so it was $1 at Goodwill, and so I decided to grab it. I'm sure this is available on Blu-ray. It might not be, but I'm okay with having it on DVD. Um, so, um, hi Kyle and chat. I just watched your horror box set video and saw the live stream and thought I'd say hello, Tom. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for watching the horror box set video. Do you have any of the Kino Dark Side of Cinema box sets? I do not. That is another like section of I guess movies that I really want to get into. I have a small like Kino collection of movies, but I don't have any of like the box sets, which is really unfortunate. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I don't even have anything like close to the box sets, but I really want to get some because I am very curious. I like the different formats. Each one has artwork that is specific to the format design. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about like VHS is the box art. Trying to think of a good example. Let's use this one because it's relevant to the conversation. And this one, I guess this doesn't really work too well, but the VHS for Sleepaway Camp versus the DVD, I don't know. I just think it's like so fun. So, which I know the covers are similar, but VHS, like box art is super like it feels retro-y, and I don't want to be that guy that's just always into like retro stuff because um yeah, but VHS artwork, I think it's also just has like a certain like feeling to it, which I just love. And but then the like this same thing with like laserdisc artwork. I kind of collect laserdisc. I don't as much anymore, um, mainly because I'm out of room for laserdiscs. But I'm gonna have to make a different shelf now. But I have a what was it? Like I have a couple versions of like The Thing on Laserdisc, like the original, and the artwork on it is just absolutely beautiful, and I love it. Um, but um, yeah, so um, that is another thing too that I love is um, the like. Um, I think that's also why I like the I'm trying to say the Swamp Thing 4K that we got from MVD. They kind of brought back, which I should just grab it. It's right here. Um, this is the CED artwork of the film. Um, and so if you're not familiar what CED is, it's like the big plastic discs, similar to Laserdisc, but not quite the same. Um, so if you're curious, you can Google it, which I could just go grab one, but because I have Swamp Thing on CED, but I love that they are kind of like incorporating like the old like artwork on or the old like formats artwork onto their 4K. And so I'm very curious because MVD 4K collection, this marks, spy number 1. And so I think they're doing Ghoulies 3, if I'm not mistaken, next. I'm pretty sure I saw that somewhere. Um, plus something that actually it comes with this 4K. Let's see. It has on here on the discs. It has like the VHS looking discs, which is really cool. Um, and sorry, this turned into a Swamp Thing review. A poster. So I think it's like things like this where they know that this is going to be for collectors, um, especially if they, I don't know, if they pay homage to the like the formats that came before. I think they can like companies can do some really cool stuff. Um, I'm just gonna put that away later. I wish I had wall space to frame and hang laser discs. They have awesome artwork. Yeah, I really wish I had the wall space as well. Um, because I know if you buy off Amazon, they have like vinyl frames, um, which for one of my groomsmen on for my our wedding that we had a couple years ago, um, he really liked the movie Blade Runner, and so I got the Criterion Laserdisc of Blade Runner, and bought a like the vinyl frame off Amazon and put that in that. That was like his gift. It is like it's such a cool thing because I mean laserdisc and vinyl are pretty much the same size, and so the frames work for laserdiscs as well. Obviously, depending on the thickness of the sometimes the box sets of laserdiscs are thicker than a vinyl, but yeah, I would highly recommend doing that because it really wasn't too expensive if I remember correctly. But let's see, I need to rewatch that. I'm assuming you're talking about Swamp Thing. Yeah, I watched it for the first time the other night. I really liked it. Do you have a Laserdisc player? I have Laserdiscs for It, Mouth of Madness, and Lord of Illusions, but no player. I do have a player. I have one of the players that um, the um, I have one of the players that has what's it called? Like the um, reader on both sides, and so you don't actually have to flip the discs. You just kind of put it in, and then it like I guess the laser, the eye. I don't know what it's actually called, what the piece is called, but it can read the discs on both sides, which is always fun. So, is your wife as big into movies as you? Does she collect any media herself? So she's not as into movies as me. She did go to film school, and so um, she does like. I mean, we both run our own company together, which is like wedding photo and video. So she does like understand movies and like stuff like that. Um, and I will say that she's definitely more into like books than movies, but she does like enjoy film. But yeah, so I don't know. She likes movies. I try to like watch stuff with her as often as I can. Um, but yeah, she also really likes just like storytelling in general. So like that's kind of where she got into like why she like kind of went into the film school is because like she just really enjoys like the storytelling aspect of things, and so with our wedding photo and video, that's kind of like where we like lean on a lot is like the storytelling aspect of like somebody's wedding day, and so yeah. So uh, cool. So I've been talking for an hour and 6 minutes, or almost an hour and 7 minutes. But um, but um, are you guys like excited or like maybe not excited is not the right word. Does it sound interesting? Um, like does it sound interesting to you that we like that I'll be doing the month of October um for like Halloween and horror? Like, is that something that people find interesting within this channel? Because I know like horror is not for everybody, um, and I don't know, I'm just trying to like get a. And I know um, my what's it called? My horror collection videos have done very well on this channel, so I'm guessing most of my audience are horror fans. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I don't want to like neglect like Criterion fans because I know not all Criterion fans are horror fans and vice versa. Um, but I know in the month of November, I'll probably be doing a lot of or more like Criterion content. Um, and let's see. Um, so I'm excited because like I'm going to be doing more since the Barnes and Noble sale happens for Criterion in the month of November. I'm hoping to do like haul videos and stuff like that. Um, but within the month of October, I am it's pretty much going to be focused on horror. So I do apologize if that is not up your alley. But when did you start collecting? Um, let's see. So I started like really, which I'm gonna do like a whole video eventually. It is on my list to do. Um, but I really got into collecting. I'd say around 2011. I started off with like pretty much just like in my way back in Noir November, because yeah, now playing said November I do noir or film noir November. That's actually cool. That's I didn't even think of that. That's cool. Um, but I started collecting way back I think like in 2011 about um, and I started off with like just like one little shelf in my closet um, way back when I was living with my parents, and um, the from there like one of my first goals was to get all of the James Bond films because I really enjoyed those, and so I went from um, trying to get all the James Bond films, and then just getting movies that I enjoyed. And um, from there, then I got like a little bookcase. I think it was like a 4 shelf bookcase or something. And so I filled up like the first 2 shelves. And then from there, I just kept growing and growing and got bigger bookcases and then shelves against the walls. And I built shelves like these. And it just snowballed into what it is now. But what kind of subgenre of horror do you lean towards? Definitely a horror fan, new to your channel, so my opinion doesn't really matter. It does matter. Your opinion does matter. Everyone's opinion matters. Um, but in regards to subgenres of horror, do I lean towards? I would say probably slashers. I do really enjoy, like, I'd say probably, yeah, slashers would probably be my go-to. Um, I do like I tend not to like I said this already like in another video where um I'm not a huge like vampire person per se. I watch vampire films, but they're not like my go-tos. Um Same kind of like with the zombie films. I do enjoy zombie movies, but they're not like my like all that I watch. Um but I do like slasher films where there's like one killer and he's just killing off a bunch of people. And it's like trying to figure out the like who did it or like type of story. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, I'd say slasher. um, but yeah, I would say I mean really like anyone's. I'm very curious like if um, I'm trying to gauge because it's like I don't want to like basically just make horror content and then like nobody wants to actually watch that. Um, but I am very excited to do horror content. Um, but yeah. Um, okay, so I'm gonna probably jump off of here soon, just because I've been talking for a little over an hour. But does anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask, comments, concerns, opinions? Um, Talk about your favorite movies, favorite horror movies, um, anything like that. But this has been a fun live stream. Cheers. Thank you. I do appreciate that. I like hearing people's feedbacks on these because I don't like know if people are enjoying these or um yeah, especially since I am kind of doing them like now like weekly. Um I know everyone's busy and everybody has things going on. So I do really appreciate people taking the time to watch these. I do like, I mean, this is my favorite, probably my favorite part out of this whole channel is like interacting with you guys. Um, yeah, it's fun just talking movies. Um, but I'm also hoping, I'm not going to get into that yet. I do have like a couple of video ideas that I'm kind of like pushing back that I don't want to talk necessarily too much about yet. See the film projector in the back. Do you have any horror film on film reels? Um, I do not have like a full like a feature horror. Um, I think in my last video that I talked about or I did a like I bought up some film. Actually, let me just show you quickly. Take this off this. Okay, so I did buy. Just don't mind James Dean over there. Um, I got the Undead. This is like a film reel in here. This is 8 millimeter. And then the other thing I got was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But that's probably it in regards to horror on film. I have like a lot of like educational stuff that they would show in like schools and stuff, but um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for in regards to like horror movies on film. But cool. I'll also flip this around so you don't see too much because I have videos coming out soon. So. Um, do you buy any t-shirts that are horror themed? I don't really. I've people have bought me shirts that are horror themed before. Um, I'm not like a huge t-shirt guy. But I would like some is a thing. The exchange. I know they. If you're familiar with the exchange, which is definitely a Ohio, Pennsylvania, um, kind of thing over here more. Um, they have some cool like horror T-shirts, which I wouldn't mind getting, but every time I'm there, I always see movies that I would rather buy instead. Um, but what was the last Criterion release that made you excited? Ooh, that's a good question. Hmm. Honestly, some of their latest stuff I'm actually kind of excited about. Mean Streets. I'm a very curious. Like, I would love. That's a 4K. It's a very early Scorsese film. I've seen that film. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the box set that includes the movie Freaks, the original like black and white movie Freaks. Um, that looks interesting. I know they just announced there's like a box set, the Red Balloon box set, which I have I have the just the standard Janus Films release of the movie, and so I'm very curious um, on the box set of those. And honestly, I'm very curious on Pinocchio. They just announced Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio movie, which I didn't get a chance to watch. I think it was put out by Netflix, and yeah, I'm just like very curious on the latest ones. Although I tend to, since I am trying to collect all the Criterion, I tend to like not necessarily just jump at the latest releases because every sale I'm trying to still buy up older ones that are within the collection. But I remember being really excited about Barry Lyndon. Yeah, I that's another one I need to revisit that. I've only seen it once. And I remember like when I was going into it, I wasn't like very excited about it necessarily because it's not like um but the I remember like watching it and really liking it. Um let's see. The Undead on film. Nice. Is that a newer movie? I have no idea. That's one that I haven't got a chance to watch yet. So, if you watch my latest like collection update video, I talk about all the different films that I just picked up, and you can kind of see, um, you can see the cover of the Undead movie. Someone buy this man a horror themed hat already. I do have a horror themed hat, and I should wear it. Really, I really for maybe for the month of October, I'll be wearing that one. Um, but my one friend got me one for Christmas the other year, so I should wear it more. But the only thing is like it's a like a flat bill hat, and I'm not like a huge like flat bill person, but um, I like the baseball hat more. But um, yeah, I'll have to just wear all my horror merch that I have. Let's see. Haha, right on. Excitement was maybe the wrong word. Let's say interested. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say um almost missed it. Um I was gonna say, yeah, the um Barry Lyndon was um I think that's what you're talking about. I believe that's what you're talking about still, is the Barry Lyndon Criterion. But sorry, talking for like an hour straight really just makes your throat was really dry. So um but did anybody or when is that coming out? That's coming out this month. Is sorry. internal processing. The Exorcist Believer, I think it's, I don't know. Are people excited about that? I feel like I haven't heard a whole lot about it. I haven't seen people talk about it a lot either. I think it hasn't come out yet, right? And I think it is part of like the series, right? If I'm not mistaken. Um, I need to go see that. I also need to go see Saw 10, even though I know it's not going to be good. I still want to go see it because I don't know. I'm a sucker for the Saw films, but what is that? Are you talking about The Exorcist Believer? It's a new movie, I think, is what you're. It's coming out on Friday the 13th. Wish we're going. Wish we're getting it. Jason said, "Yeah, I. It would be awesome if um it would be awesome if you're getting like a Friday the 13th like movie on Friday the 13th in October. Um, I don't know why they didn't plan ahead for that, which they really just need to come out with another one because if it like I think the last one we got was 2009, and so um, although then again, like I don't know if they should like do um too many of the same, like if they should just keep remaking things because then I feel like it kind of overdoes it. But um, do you ever get overwhelmed with the possibilities of which movie or which movies to buy and all the formats? I do. 100% I do. I am constantly like just like it's like just constantly in my brain of just like okay, I'm gonna get a little extra money this month for to purchase something like what do I get next, and so it's just really balance of like Criterion horror, box sets, Vinegar Syndrome, because Vinegar Syndrome alone is a whole like thing that you could just spend all your money on. And it really like there's so much good stuff, so many interesting things. But let's see. Um, yeah, it's impossible. It's so like frustrating of just like how much stuff is out there, and then like every month it just, all the labels are like, yeah, we're releasing this new box set, and it's like cool, but like I still have other things to buy, and it's very it can be very overwhelming. And so I tend to just try to um really try to keep watching what I have, and not get too worried about participating in all the sales. Which, speaking of sales, this just popped in my brain. If you did not know, there is a sale going on Vinegar Syndrome's website right now. It's ending actually in a couple of hours. I think tonight at midnight, or 11:59 tonight. It is ending, and it's the black or let's see, the half not halfway, the Black Friday pre-sale flash sale, if that makes sense. So they announced like four titles, and um, one of or like they're all like discounted, I guess, because they will be available during the Black Friday sale, but they will be at a higher price. So if you're curious, I would head over there in the next couple of hours and check out what they have to offer if you're into Vinegar Syndrome. If not, don't worry about it because I just figured I'd mention it on here if you're not aware of it. But um, let's see, I missed a few comments. Let's see. Hello, Joe. You said, how's it going? I've been on a box set kick lately. Kino Aero, Vinegar Syndrome. Um, that is how I feel about like box sets as well. Like I absolutely love like a good box set. Like Vinegar Syndrome sets are like I love. I've been like um I try to buy up box sets because especially within like the Criterion collection, since the goal is to own all of them. Like one box set might get me multiple spy numbers, and I don't know. It's they're fun. I love box sets. As you can see behind this whole like top section, just box sets. But Let's see. The Exorcist should have stopped after 3. The perfect sequel to the original. I'll watch Believer because miracles do happen. Maybe that will be one of them. Yeah, I definitely think like The Exorcist 3 is, I think it's an underrated horror flick. It's fantastic. I love The Exorcist 3. The Exorcist 2 is horrible. It's pretty rough. I don't understand what happened. Like how did they go from like The Exorcist to The Exorcist 2? But um yeah, I even the other two, is it Dominion? No. I forget what the other two were. They're prequels to The Exorcist, and both of them were pretty much the same movie. Um, but yeah, I'm very curious on Believer. It probably won't be good, but who knows? Oh, I see Black Friday Flash pre-order. Um, I think that one. I think that is the one. Let's see, how worried are you about running out of room? All these new titles take up so much space. Um, yeah, I'm not necessarily like worried. It's more of like I've already hit that point. Like right here, I don't know if you can tell. This section of like maybe like a foot or so worth of space. Um, that is all the space I have for horror, VHS, and DVD. Now, obviously, with that top shelf, I could go through and turn the set sideways, and so they're not face out, and that would take up substantially less room. Um, and I could do that, and that would open up some space. Um, and yeah, I'm pretty like I rearranged a few things in here, which I'll probably talk about in a maybe a new room tour video. But I um I have a few other shelf ideas. I have some spots that I feel like I'm not utilizing um like the maximum amount of space, and so um yeah, I could probably redo some things in this room, and maybe make it a little better. But I'm very close on running completely out of room, which, I mean, it's inevitable, especially with a hobby like this, with just so much good stuff coming out all the time. I feel like it's inevitable just to eventually run out of the room for stuff. So you kind of have to, um, like, I would say you have to curate your collection, which I've done a couple times where I just kind of go through my entire collection and decide if it's really adding value to my collection or if it's just stuff that I, I don't know, I just don't want to like have in my collection anymore. So, um, let's see. Will I be getting the House 4K set? Probably not. I would. I mean, obviously, I would like it. I have not actually seen any of the House films. I've owned House 1 and 2 on DVD for years now, and I've just never gotten around to watching it. I really need to. Maybe that'll be part of my 31 Nights of Halloween this year, is watching, actually sitting down and watching House. Um, and I know it's definitely, let's see, it's, yeah, it's not the same house as this, because this movie is insane, and this isn't really relevant to that comment. But you should check this out. This is a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, the House 1, 2, 3, and 4 box set. I think I saw that today on Facebook, and I wouldn't mind having it, but I need to watch the first two, that I, at least that the ones that I own, before I jump on getting the 4K of it. You ever think about digitizing them, or is that thrill the box? Is the thrill the box? Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get like digitized. I do have like a Voodoo library with like the digital codes or whatever. But I never like, I don't know. I never go on there um to watch them. I physically, yep, words are hard. I like having the physical copy here. Mainly because it's like, if you lose internet, um you can't watch anything, or um especially with like streaming and stuff. That is the that's the biggest negative with streaming, is just like, if one day they decide that this movie is no longer relevant, or no longer, like, what's the word I'm looking for, like it no longer holds up to today's like views, they can just kind of cut it down or change it or whatever. um but in my opinion, I just like having the physical copy, to like, knowing that, like, okay, this is the one that we got back in the day. This is the one that the director wanted to have come out, or this is the one that, the best copy that we have. um so I don't think I'll ever digitize it. I love the aesthetic of down here, just having all the movies around and stuff. And like, yes, space is going to, eventually be an issue, but that's why I built a movie room in the first place, is just to have movies down here. But I don't know. Um, it's all about the shelf art. Yep, I agree. Did you watch Sky High yet? I've seen Sky High a very long time ago. And I think I've seen it actually like a couple times. When I was like younger. I haven't rewatched it in a while. But I remember it being fun. I remember, like, that's why I got it from the I think it was Goodwill. Because it's been a while since I've seen it, and I'm like, I would like it to be in my collection. So, um, yeah, it's a fun film. It's Yeah. Let's see. If they withdraw the movie series for tax breaks, or if they censor the French Connection, right on. Yeah, that's like my issue too, is just like, if they start censoring things, like the French Connection, for instance, and then the Blu-ray spiked in value or whatever. Um, I don't know. I like having it like on a shelf, because I know, like, I can go and watch, you know, Fargo whenever I want. Like, this is not going anywhere. Like, this might be on Netflix, today, or but like tomorrow HBO might get the rights for it, and they might take it, and now you have to get HBO if you want to watch this, or so on and so on. So it's like, but I know, like, with this, I have the special features, I have the disc, I have the artwork, which the slipcover, by the way, is amazing. Um, just like, it's so fun. Um, and that's not going anywhere. So that's sticking right on my shelf. But let's see. The most annoying thing about streaming for me is just the amount of different options they are, and or finding which service has the movie on it, and the fact that they remove it constantly. Yes, I would say that's really annoying, to just deal with figuring out which service has what you want to watch. And then when you do find it, it's like, oh, it was on here, but now it's not, and it's a whole thing. Do you remember your first Blu-ray purchase? Total Recall. The first Blu-ray that I ever got was Total Recall. Um, then I think I got Terminator 2 as well. Um, those were like pretty early on Blu-ray ones, and I also got Dawn of the Dead. Strangely enough, now that it's out of print, um, I got that from Walmart for like $8, and then I remember seeing it was like $60 or whatever at one point. So, and now it's not worth as much because of the 4K. But um, yeah, those were some of my earlier purchases. But um, let's see. I saw the Hellraiser Scarlet box sets in your video. Is that the only Clive Barker you own? I do have a few other of his films. I have Book of Blood is another one. Um, Lord of Illusions, I think, is another one. I might have other ones. I don't have a ton, but I do have a few of his films. Your collection makes for a great backdrop for your videos too. That's a good point too. I do like the backdrop of my collection. I try to, I don't know. Right now, it feels like a little messy, but yeah, cool. So we're going on 95 minutes. Wow, that's a lot. So I think we're going to end it there. Um, but that was a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody stopping in to chat. Um, yeah, if you missed it, I'm doing videos on Tuesdays and Fridays, and then a live stream on Sunday. Um, and I'll try to be doing live streams right around 7 o'clock, I would say, on Sundays. So it seems like, I don't know, last week I did it around 3 o'clock because I had something going on, but 7 o'clock seems to be a good time to do these. So um, I appreciate everybody stopping by, and yeah, I enjoyed chatting with all of you. But check out my videos on um, Tuesdays and Fridays. But let's see. Oh no, it's fine. I really don't mind. See, he said, "Sorry, I made you talk for longer than you wanted. It's been fun." No, it's really cool. I really don't mind. Like I carve out my Sunday evenings for these, so I have nothing else going on. So I enjoy talking with you guys, and this is really the main reason why I have this channel, is to have a community to talk to. So um, yeah, I appreciate or everyone's comments, and everyone taking the time to watch this. And I will see all of you guys in the next video. Take care, guys. Have a good night. How do I end this? Okay.